Coquette, La Coquette.
To La Coquette, I welcome you. Very special recipe today we have.
Yes, my friends, in the Star Wars fever that is upon us, today we honor our favorite green Jedi Master Yoda with a very unique and delicious treat. Today we're making matcha Yoda croissants. Whether you're a moisture farmer or a scruffy-looking nerf herder, I can assure you you'll love these croissants. Now, the recipe is a saga by itself, and it'll take you a couple of days to create. But when you compare it to Yoda's 900 years of age, it is nothing. All the ingredients are below the video. Oh, and good news, this is a midi-chlorian-free recipe. First, butter a large bowl and set aside. Next, we'll stir yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and warm water in a bowl. Let the yeast react with the sugar and stand until foamy, about 5 minutes. Here we have lukewarm milk, to which I'm going to add salt and the remaining sugar and mix well. Then, put all-purpose flour and the Yoda-colored matcha powder into a mixing bowl and add to it the now foamy yeast mixture, the milk, and some vegetable oil that will make our dough soft. Mix everything on low speed until the dough comes together. Now to knead our dough, we'll flour our table. But don't get carried away. We don't want it looking like hot. We just need a little bit so the dough doesn't stick. On goes the dough and away we knead for a bit with our floured hands. Next, place the dough in your butter bowl and turn it so it all gets a little of it. Cover it with plastic wrap twice and transfer to a warm environment, like Tatooine, so it grows to almost triple its size in about 2 to 3 hours.
After its seclusion in Tatooine, huge your dough will be.
Turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. And now it's time to use the ultimate Jedi baker tool, the laser roller. Use it to roll your dough into an 8 by 12 inches rectangle. We'll then fold it in thirds, just like a letter, and return the dough to its bowl. Again, cover twice with plastic wrap and either put it back in Tatooine for an hour and a half or stick it inside your fridge overnight until it has doubled its size. Once the dough has risen for the second time, we're going to make our butter package. Place 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour and your sticks of cold butter in small chunks into a clean mixing bowl. Mix on medium speed until it's well combined. And now onto our dough. Oh yes, it's grown. It looks like Jabba the Hutt's belly after a nice meal. Turn out your dough onto a lightly floured work surface and roll it into a rectangle, this time of 11 by 16 inches. We'll place the butter package on top and using an icing spatula, spread it to 2/3 of the dough, leaving a bit of margin around the edges. Fold your butter rectangle in thirds. This marks our first turn of a trilogy. Wrap dough in plastic wrap and place it inside the fridge for 30 to 60 minutes so the butter chills. Take the dough out of the fridge and we'll roll it out once again, this time into a rectangle of 20 by 9 inches. Fold again in thirds and wrap it in plastic wrap.
Turn number 2 this is.
Refrigerate it for 1.5 hours. After that, we'll do a third and final turn, extending the dough again into a 20 by 9 inch rectangle, but this time, we'll fold it into quarters. First, bringing each side to the middle and then folding them on top of each other so it ends up with 4 layers. Wrap dough in plastic and refrigerate for 2 hours. Don't worry, this isn't like when Han Solo was frozen in carbonite. Refrigerating is an essential part of this recipe and it gives the croissants the layered and airy texture that we all love. Now it's time to roll out our dough into croissants. We'll turn it out onto a lightly floured surface and roll it just a bit to cut it in half. We'll work with half of the dough first. See those beautiful layers? That's the key to yummy croissants. Extend one of the halves of the dough into an 11 by 18 inches rectangle. Let's make sure our rectangle is straight and remove the excess dough. Croissants are made out of isosceles triangles and ours will have a 3.5-inch base. Measure this with a ruler and make small marks to guide you. Now use the same ruler to help cut in a straight line and cut the dough with a pizza cutter. You'll end up with a bunch of triangles that look like the Empire's parking lot. Ironic, no? Now grab one of your spaceships and make a small slit in the middle of the base. Fold this and stretch the edges slightly outward. These will end up being Yoda's pointy ears. Now begin rolling inward with your fingertips until you reach the point and make sure this is tucked under the croissant.
And that's how you make Yoda croissants. But I think I'm missing something.
Coquette, add chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. Let's add chocolate.
Just place a few chocolate chips at the base of your triangle and roll it like the others. Place your croissants on top of a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and cover them with plastic wrap.
And now, because I'm a Jedi cook, I can use the Force to make them double in size. But for all of you at home watching, you may have to let them stay in a warm place for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Once they're bigger, brush them with an egg wash dyed with green food coloring and stick them inside an oven that has been preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes or until they're puffed, darker, and slightly glossy. While that cooks, we'll use the leftover edges to make Yoda's little nose. Cut small rectangles, fold them, and we'll bake them separately at the same temperature for about 8 to 10 minutes. After the 20 minutes have passed, we'll bring out our croissants and Yoda noses and let them cool.
Tusken Raiders! They're known to prey on warm croissants. Watch out! Once cool, we can finally give them the wise Yoda features.
I'm using white chocolate buttons for his big eyes, and I'll create the pupils using melted chocolate and the back of a pencil covered in plastic wrap. Use the same melted chocolate to paste the eyes and the nose, and also to draw a slight smile with a thin brush.
With all of them, you shall do this.
And there you go. Yoda has never looked sweeter. This recipe is bound to impress your friends, but hey, don't get cocky, kid. If you like this recipe, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more cool recipes. Thanks for watching, my dearest Padawans. May the Force be with you, and see you soon on La Coquette.
You will now subscribe.